I always say cash flow is king, and I love receiving dividend payments. Now, I fully understand and acknowledge dividends are not simply free money that falls out of the sky. However, even though that's the case where they're not free money, I still enjoy receiving dividend checks. And while I don't strictly only invest in dividend paying companies, the fact of the matter is the majority of the companies I invest in do happen to pay dividends. And so I'm going to share with you every dividend I received in the month of January 2024. Welcome to the Fiscal Philosophy YouTube channel. Just because I have these companies that pay dividends doesn't mean they're necessarily right for your portfolio. Here are my first three dividends I got in January 2024. The first one is from Paramount Global Class B. I got $15 for this position. Fun fact, Berkshire Hathaway is actually the biggest owner of Paramount Global's Class B stock, and I believe that this is a possible target for an acquisition, so this is a potential arbitrage play, but it's also a value play, as I believe the assets that they have are just extremely undervalued compared to the market, compared to their competitors. The second one on this list is another stock I actually share with Berkshire Hathaway, HPQ, which is shares in HP Inc. This is one of those stocks that just, it's not really a fast grower, but it trades at a cheap multiple. They have a lot of room for dividend growth, and they have a history of rewarding shareholders with buybacks. And I think it's just, slightly undervalued, and that I'm likely to get a pretty solid return over the long run, just letting them grow their dividend and their buybacks. And last on this first set of stocks is Smith & Wesson Brands, SWBI. I received $48 from Smith & Wesson. This is a pretty low market cap company, and they're a gun seller, gun maker, and they do some other sort of accessories and things around that space. This is another case where their stock saw a big boom during the lockdowns because of people's fear and paranoia, and then had a big drop off in sales. They tend to be pretty cyclical, but we're in an election year now, and I got in when it was low. I'm guessing that we'll see another surge because the instability around elections generally causes sales to go up. This next group have some of my beefiest dividends of all. First up, we have Altria Group paying $196. That's delicious. Then we have a smaller little slice of UWM giving me $10. Now, here is the most controversial of the bunch. MPW. We have $225 coming in from them. Now, when it comes to MPW, I'm actually not in it mainly for the yield. I believe this is an asset play. I'm in it for the balance sheet, which I believe is undervalued by the market. That's just my personal opinion on it. And I also believe that the problems that they're having, which they are, I'm not going to sit here and say this is a zero risk stock or anything like that. I do think that it's overblown and recoverable, and that more than likely we will see a turnaround in this. I update you all on the stock pretty regularly, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about that here. And then finally, on this group, we have Horizon Technology Finance. This is a business development company. They pay me every single month, and they do a great job, I think, of returning cash to shareholders really consistently and doing a really solid job. They trade pretty close to their book value, so it's not a super deep value play, but I think that this is a pretty well-run BDC, although a little bit smaller and newer and more speculative. The final four are pretty interesting. So first is Global Net Lease, $35.40. They were going through some type of merger thing in the recent past. I haven't had a chance to look into it too much. This is a smaller position in my portfolio, and some of the more smaller superfluous positions, I don't really keep up too close day to day with the news on them. If anything, some of them I may actually consider getting rid of. PSEC is another one that falls into this category. It's a monthly paying BDC, but again, the position's so small, I don't really keep up with what's going on with them, and I don't really feel like there's that much upside, so I might just put that cash to work somewhere else. Now, this one is super interesting. Alibaba Group just paid their first dividend ever. They announced it in December, and it hit my account in the middle of January here. $100 from my 100 shares of Alibaba. So Alibaba is now a dividend stock. So in addition to the massive buybacks they're doing with the free cash flow, they're also directly returning cash to shareholders to reward us for holding. So I'm a fan of Alibaba. I know some people say, "Ooh, China is a scam. It's uninvestable." Well, here they are cutting me checks, so I'm cool with it as long as the money spends. Okay, so my last, but certainly not least here, is my $58 dividend from Comcast. Comcast is an entertainment conglomerate combined with a cable TV company, combined with theme parks, combined with high-speed internet. And when it comes to the high-speed internet, I think that gives them a degree of stability because the internet is almost as necessary as a public utility, yet not really as regulated as water or electric. So they have a lot of pricing power and the ability to, sort of keep their cash flows consistent even as the cable TV subscriptions sort of drop off. Now, they also own the Peacock streaming service and Universal Studios theme parks. Basically, there is a lot to love here with Comcast. And I just personally think it's one of the highest quality businesses in my whole portfolio. I think they've got a wide moat, monopolistic features, and I think that they're going to be a good compounder and dividend grower in the long run. Now, after we crunch the numbers, we're coming up with a grand total of $781.52 of passive income this month. You can definitely do a lot with that, but you might be saying to yourself, hey, I want more. You might be saying, hey, I can't wait a month between hearing about dividends. Well, if you want to hear about my dividends more often than every month, I encourage you head over to the Cash Flow Kings live channel. Now, we do a live show every Saturday at 8 p.m., but every Sunday we post our weekly buys, sells, and yes, dividends. So you can get a weekly fix of what I'm doing and what dividends I'm collecting. I wouldn't miss it. And remember, it's linked in the description. Now, the part you've all been waiting for, where I reveal what you could buy with the dividends I received this month. Your favorite PS5 bundle. Wealth. Do me a favor, and if you like this kind of content, make sure you're subscribing to my channel, liking it for the algo, commenting below, and all that good stuff. Make sure you're hopping in my Discord, link in the description. Consider becoming a channel member. Helps support me financially, lets me keep doing this. And also, follow me on Twitter/X at Mr. Macho Mog, trying to get my first 100 followers on there. It's been a grind. Help me out. Later, everybody.